Jump.
Personal pronoun here.
Jump.
He, her. She, her.
What are you doing?
She, her. Latinx. No, I almost jumped.
You're an associate now.
I'm associate. Promotion.
You have.
Watch out for the Wuhan. See him.
Why didn't it get him? Why didn't it Wuhan
See
get
him. I was ducked. I was under it. Remember, I was sitting down at a restaurant.
Let's see. What did you do?
Hey, I scored. Oh, now you give me a quiz?
Uh-oh.
Choose this person to hire.
DEI hires. White, black. I'm going to choose A.
You're fired. You don't hire the white guy? What are you talking about?
Did you pick the white guy?
So I did. I totally picked the white guy.
Yeah. Obviously.
Oh, and it takes me to redballoon.work. There you go.
Got it.
Now I can't use that balloon anymore. Because you gave it to me, and now
I'll get you another one.
I'm not going to blow in it.
His mouth is all over.
I know.
I haven't had COVID for a little bit now.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Cross Politic Big Week Fix. We just came off our first stop on the Liberty Tour, Fort Worth, Texas. Hope you guys got to catch that show. Dr. Peter McCullough. Let me get the screen up here while I'm
Chad
talking.
Prather.
Chad Prather. Pastor Wilson.
Doug Wilson.
And Pastor Wilson's talk was not in the live show.
Right.
It's in the club portal.
Club portal.
And it's Patrick Henry or Panic Porn. And it was good,
It was a really good talk.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It's a great experience. It was really fun, kind of getting out on the road. We hadn't done that in a long time since our conference. And
Is the red shirt for Red Balloon since they're here today?
Yes.
yeah, well, I guess now.
Oh, is that like a partnership happening here? What's going on?
We're buddies.
I
just got
think we
weird.
need to have a balloon and a flag bowing down.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
That's
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll bow your balloon.
Some of you are probably wondering where your magazine's at in March. Well, our managing editor had an emergency adoption, basically, is what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's my brother.
That's awesome.
He got alerted that they were going to adopt a baby literally like 2.5 weeks ago, and they're in the hospital down in Boise with the baby and everything. So, sorry, it's coming in April, but it's pretty much almost edited and ready to go.
Also, I hadn't written my article yet.
Oh, you hadn't?
Let's be honest. It all comes back to Toby.
But I did turn it in. It's turned in now.
Okay.
It's not my
Good.
fault now.
Well,
Now-
praise God, man. That's happy to hear about the adoption.
Yeah, so he's got adoption. They're having a baby boy.
Yeah,
They got a baby boy and
new
adopted.
nephew.
Yeah.
He's 6 pounds as of today.
So it was like an early.
He was preemie.
Yeah, preemie and all that
So
stuff.
the hospital.
wow.
He's growing. He's getting fat. He's looking like a real chubby baby.
So my point also is that you could probably still become a magazine subscriber and get into this issue because we haven't gone to the print yet.
Yeah,
Yep. When Jesse gets lazy and doesn't finish the magazine on time, there's an opportunity for you.
Disruption produces
So
opportunity.
you can
Just
join
caring
it.
for the babies.
Yeah.
We are going to be, as part of our Liberty Tour, we're going to be in Rapid City April 7th. And now,
Wait a second. Where's Uncle Gary at?
well, now the problem, Uncle Gary, we asked for a good picture from Uncle Gary, and he texted me one, and it was all pixelated, and it just didn't work.
I want a picture of Uncle Gary with
In his afro.
with the fro.
Well, I probably should just have gone for that. Next to Larry Elder.
Do it.
It doesn't matter how Uncle Gary looks in this picture.
You just put him in. I know, it's true.
You put his picture up there
It's
next
true.
time.
Come
I'm gonna
on.
make Tiny come
It
visit
was.
you.
It was pretty.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure
He's
that
really good with like God and government and eschatology.
But not graphic design.
Not
so
graphic
good
design.
on the
It's
graphics.
Uncle Gary.
So Uncle Gary's gonna be doing a one-day God and Government workshop with us.
Yep.
That's gonna go from about 9 to 5. That's free, and then we're doing a live show with Larry Elder, Uncle Gary that night. Comedian John Brandy is opening up for us, and that's $30. And you can go follow the links to register in the show notes. crosspolitic.com/Liberty Tour will get you there. And everything. He's still
Stop it.
He's still
Stop
going.
it.
Look at all
with
these
the red
balloons.
Yeah.
He has
trying
a
to
lot
get
of kids. He knows what to do when you get balloons.
I got a mug. He brought a mug and it needs bourbon in it. So I'm
does.
just clearing out the balloons for the bourbon.
That's true. That's true. I do need some bourbon.
Watch this.
No, but
Look,
it ain't, you know
ready.
what? You
Now
gotta
it's
learn
ready.
how to have fun.
We get the bourbon right there.
Yeah.
Neil, will you get Andrew a mug? You want some bourbon? It's a little
Yes.
Jameson.
Yeah, sure. Why
A
not?
little sip. That'd
That's
be great.
whiskey.
Yeah.
I was going to bring you whiskey, but I didn't.
You brought the port.
You were going to bring us whiskey, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. There's a thought that counts.
Not so long ago, the American dream was alive and well. Employees who worked hard were rewarded, and employers looked for people who could do the job, not for people who had the right political views. RedBalloon.work or redballoon.work/FLF.
Yeah, baby.
Even better. It's a job site designed to get us back to what made American businesses successful: free speech, hard work, and blowing up balloons.
Amen.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And other things that are fun, I guess. If you're a free speech employer who wants to hire employees who focus on their work and not identity politics, then post a job on RedBalloon. If you're an employee who is being censored at work or is being forced to comply with the current zeitgeist, post your resume on RedBalloon and look for a new job. And while you're waiting, there's a brand new video game out from RedBalloon.
And what's the website for
Launched
it?
today, pronounlandmines.com.
Pronounlandmines.com.
Wait. So can you pull it up again?
Yeah.
Pull up Pronoun Landmines.
Okay.
So let me give you a little backstory
Please.
of Pronoun Landmines.
Please, because here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering all stuff y'all got to do. Out of all the things that RedBalloon has to do,
Top priority.
making a landmine video game of pronouns
Right.
is at the
Pronoun
top.
Landmine.
Pronoun Landmine.
So you
Here
start
it
as
is.
a janitor.
You start as a janitor.
And
You earn dollars.
She, him,
Every time you make it
Latinx.
effectively get past one of the and you're dead. You're fired.
You just died.
Yeah, I got
You're
fired.
fired. Now the good
This is-
news is, wait, go get a new job at RedBalloon.
Whoa!
Oh, that's
Hey, you
good. That's
like
good
that?
news.
You like that? That's good news.
Where's the music? Dun, dun, dun,
There's
dun,
no
dun,
music
dun, dun,
because
dun.
we're adults now, and so we only play video games without music. So backstory is I hired a guy from GE Health, and you may have heard of this.
GE Health?
Gabe, really? Do I
get my
do you have a
bug.
different cub?
Because we
We
love
have
you.
Tony. We have Tony also.
Tony be fine. So he's at GE Health, and he basically told his kids every day, "Hey, I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to earn a lot of money, but I might step on a pronoun landmine. If I do, I'm going to come home unemployed because in that world, it's true." And you see what American Express. There's an article that just came out today. They put all of their employees through CRT training to make sure that they know how wicked. So it's not just in our schools, right? And then
Yeah.
you see Disney doing some employees doing a walkout.
Yep.
And the NCAA doing the moment of silence because of the Florida bill.
I saw a diversity training thing for Home Depot
Oh, really?
on the internet.
Wow.
Like
Big time.
about
Big time.
pronouns and
Big time.
diversity and equity.
I
and-
talked to a lady who at Deloitte, and she said, I just finished a 2-hour CRT training where I was told I was evil because I was white, period, hard stop. And she's like, and that's really motivating. And like the morale's up. Everybody's like, yeah,
Definitely
I'm
wanna
an
work
evil white
harder.
person. And she's like, and then the manager gets up and says, I wish all those unvaccinated people would just go to an island together and die.
Oh.
She says this in a meeting in a corporate environment. And this lady is like, hey, you know what? It's probably my moment. So she raised her hand. She says, I'm not going to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
Dead
She
silent.
did it?
She dead silent.
Awesome.
And she said, here's the most interesting thing. She says, and then like 5 seconds later, someone else is like,
I'm not doing it either.
me neither. And then another person, yeah, I'm not going to do it either. And it's easier to be brave when you know you're not alone, right? Anyway, point is on this game. So dad tells the kids this every day. So his 14-year-old son says, you know what? I'm going to write this video game. And he wrote it on his own time while he's doing school. He wrote this video game to tell a true story about his dad trying to not get fired.
Right.
Happy ending, of course, his dad got a job with RedBalloon. Literally with RedBalloon, he now works for me.
Oh,
Fantastic. So
Nice.
his son wrote the game as just a thank you for hiring my dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
And-
wow.
and
Seriously.
gave it to RedBalloon.
And gave it to RedBalloon. So play Pronoun Landmines.
Where do you go play it at? Because now you just.
Pronounlandmines.com. Or you just go to redballoon.work. There's a link there. You can follow it. You can go play it.
Yeah.
And we're announcing it today because this is the biggest show in America. Am I right?
Oh.
You better from your mouth to God's ears, brother. Come on, man.
100%.
Praise
For
God.
all-
It's just,
For all 4 people watching, I want to say thank you.
They're definitely sick.
Here's,
Yeah.
when I knew you were coming on today, I started trying to figure out what has been the trajectory, and how do we get to the point where, one day you're doing your job, you're being normal, and some guy was telling me, he was at his company and he was making a joke about the rich uncle in Africa who owns a diamond mine, and that somehow was thought to be racist because he was a rich African uncle who owned.
Right.
And so now he's got HR visiting him, and he's just making a joke that used to be something we could do.
Right.
Because everybody knew it was a funny joke, but now it's all racialized. Everything is racist, and everybody's woke now. And now he's in HR with 2 strikes.
Correct.
And
No,
so-
there was someone who called up RedBalloon. They're like, hey, I just called some coworkers. Hey, guys. And they said, you do that ever again, and
Hey,
you will be
guys?
fired.
Hey,
guys.
guys.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Right.
And someone asked for 4th of July off, and they're like, "Oh, White Supremacy Day? Is that what you want?" Like, but this is happening in corporate world.
So I'm a
You got
basketball
zero.
coach.
I don't have anything in
We'll
my
call
cup.
him
So-
the dry pastor.
Apparently, I'm the...
So I'm coaching.
What did I do?
I'm
What did I
coaching
do?
He
girls.
made fun of me blowing up balloons, and so I was like, "Oh, okay. See how you like it dry."
You get nothing.
I'm coaching Logos girls 6th through 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm on the court. I'm coaching, and I'm saying,
do you know what a woman is?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I said, cover your man, get your, just go find your man. Just typical. The coach from the other side is saying, get your person,
Right.
get your person.
You should ask him if he knows what a person is.
Do you know what? Can you define a
There's
person?
man and woman. Just
Yeah.
saying, well, man.
And so I think they're
works.
probably offended because I'm using man as like a a generalization of humankind kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, get your man, find your man. And I hear the coach on the other side, get your person, like trying to make sure I hear.
Yeah.
Get your person.
Hey.
Use coach, say person.
Hey, you don't even know. No, I was a friend of mine was on a Zoom call, and they start going around, and they're like, "What's your pronoun?"
Oh, no.
And he's like, "I'm not like." And they're like, and they basically would. They're like, "No, we're not going to continue this call unless you say what your pronoun is." And he's like, "Oh, I know what to do. Hang up."
Yeah.
And we need more Christians to just hang up. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not participating. Don't go with it.
Andrew, how do we get there though? How did it go? It seems like it kind of happened overnight because now it's just dropping in.
Do you want to know how wokeness got into the corporate
Yeah, I
space?
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fascinating story. Do you remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yep.
Yes.
Right? And all of a sudden, Wall Street was evil and corporate, and all the liberals hated Wall Street.
Yep.
Liberals don't hate Wall Street anymore. Why? Because they realize, you know what, we
liberalized
can
it.
do evil things, but say liberal things and get away with murder, right? We can condemn slavery, and Nike can continue to
Yep.
use slavery
yeah.
to make this, right?
Right.
We can condemn racism and be racist in the way we're hiring because we won't hire those white people. They're evil, right? And so basically they realized that wokeness was a way because liberals are better at fussing than conservatives are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And so they figured out, you know what, if we could just bring wokeness in our messaging, we can do murder all day long.
Yeah.
And we're going to get away with it, right?
Yeah.
And so the new left demanded it, and they're like, "Oh, fine, we'll do whatever we want, make a ton of money, but we'll give all the right signals."
And here's the thing: we've bought into liberalism for decades, thinking it's nicer than conservatives. They take care of the poor. They're nicer, all that stuff. We kind of bought into that narrative a little bit, but all liberalism has been the whole time has been one big power play.
Yeah.
But how do you go from Occupy Wall Street on the outside of Wall Street saying we're going to occupy this street like what they did to being the Trojan horse that Wall Street lets in to now control them?
Because Wall Street was the bad guy in that story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the media, right? Liberal media, Wall Street was the bad guy.
Yep.
When Disney or American Express has DEI, CRT, BLM, LGBTQ, alphabet soup excitement training for all of their employees, the media calls them the good guy, and they can do whatever they want. So here's the other interesting story. Have you heard of the company called Inspired down in Boise, Inspire,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Robert down there?
Yeah.
So, he has this story of basically calls up Costco and says, hey, I don't want you to support these gay pride parades. And they're like, you know what? Thank you. Because we hear from the left constantly forcing us like, hey, support this, support this. We have never gotten a call from the right saying, please don't do this.
Okay.
And now she says, guess what? I can now go to my board meeting and say, you know what? We have investors on both sides of this issue. We shouldn't touch it. Right. But the thing is, liberals are better at fussing. And us conservatives just sit around. We have extraordinary pain tolerance, right? We get numb to pain. We can walk with a rock in our shoe for longer than anybody. And we see it as a virtue. But the reality is we need to get better and be like, no.
That's what I meant to ask. So do you think it's a virtue that we kind of say, well, it's your business, do what you want to do with it, we let people kind of do their own thing? Or do we need to be as fussy as the left is? Because it kind of feels like I don't want to play by the rules that they mark out as the game, right?
Right. Yeah, I think fussing looks very, very different. I think there's a cheerful fussing that can happen, right? There's not the shrill, but there's the calm, cool, and collected. Hey, Costco, don't do that, or I'm going to dump all my stock in you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
You aren't fussing. You're just saying, hey, this is
Your
what's
sin's not going to mess up my day, right?
Well,
Your sin's not going to mess up my day, but you know what? I'm going to need you to just do that, or else.
Yeah.
Well, I'd add to that. There's like a serrated fussing a little bit and all this. Did you guys see Babylon B got suspended on Twitter?
Yep.
And then they released a campaign video, marketing genius.
Phenomenal.
Where Kyle, our boy Kyle, he's in the video, and he's in this like terrorist basement, and he's saying all these nice things about Twitter, like Twitter's great. And then he gets to this line where he's supposed to say it, and he hesitates to say it, and then a red dot shines on his head.
It's so good.
And then at one point, he brings his hands up because he's talking and gesturing. He brings his hands up, and they're handcuffed. And he's like, "Oh, sorry." It was so brilliant.
Wow. Wow.
But we need to be in a stronger position, right? Because the reality is, if your company is using AWS, right, for all of your servers, well, then guess what? If you fuss at them, they can be like, "Oh, we're going to turn you off."
Parler.
Right?
Parler.
Right? You saw that with Parler, right?
Yep.
But if you go and find the conservative business and the alternative economy that is definitely blossoming around us,
Yeah.
well,
And it
guess
is.
what? You're in a position where you can calmly say, hey, don't do that. Right? But when you're totally beholden to either the big tech or you go to Whole Foods because you really think it's really important for your life. Sorry, I was supposed to not laugh at that point, but I did.
So do you use our boys' dime payments? Are you using dime payments?
We are working on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we have to.
Yeah.
Because Stripe is evil.
Yeah.
And
they canceled President Trump.
They absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
And does it happen in a day? No. Right. There's still, I still have an Apple phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. That's a hard one. But here's the thing is, like you were saying, there is a conservative economy that's popping up all over this. And we pointed out the last couple of years how easy God has made it just to be the church.
Right.
Yeah.
Have your doors open, don't require a vax, and no face mask, and your church blows up.
Right.
You could even be Baptist.
Yep.
I mean, the bar's low.
You can even be Baptist.
Knox is like, did he just say that?
I'm just saying. Oh, speaking of which,
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. And same for businesses, Christian businesses and conservative businesses. You just 100%. Open up RedBalloon. How many competitors out there, legacy competitors are out there with RedBalloon? You got Career Builder, Monster.com.
Yeah.
You got dinosaur competitors out there, and you came in with this conservative kind of, hey, we aren't going to require vax in our companies.
Not a big deal.
And you blew up.
And we've got 1,800 businesses.
This is what I want to hear. So tell, we've had you on before when you were first starting off.
Yeah.
How's it blown up?
Over 1,800 businesses have signed up.
That's incredible.
We have jobs even up in Canada. I've tried to not let the Canadians in, but no, I'm kidding. I let the Canadians, just like the Baptists. Did I say that out loud?
Might be
that
the
was
same
supposed to be inside. And we've had over 750,000 people looking for freedom on that site.
Wow.
So
that's
you just
incredible.
like there's so much
million
demand.
people.
How many jobs are on there?
There are thousands at this point. I mean, honestly, some of the employers I'm talking to, so we filled them all.
Really?
We got 90 applications in the tightest labor market in the world.
Wow.
And so we're pulling our jobs down. I had a guy in Boise. He's like, I put up a job. I had 4 applicants, and in 10 days, I hired the best person.
And they're all good people because these people are like, I don't want to get vaxxed at my job.
That's right.
I don't want to play the personal pronoun game.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're hired.
Right.
I just got you from RedBalloon. I don't even know if you're qualified, but I'm hiring you.
So Gavin DeBecker and Associates is on our site. They're the largest private security company in the world. Okay. So they protect billionaires, movie stars, Supreme Court justices.
Oh, wow.
He said every hire from RedBalloon is cleansing to our company culture.
Woo! Wow.
Because you have people who come in and they want to work. They don't want to be a snowflake that's just, blizzarding at the HR department.
So it's more than just wokeness. You're actually finding a crop of people that are the salt of the earth, who are kind of the traditionalists. Say, you know what, I'm really good at what I do. I've spent my life training to be good at my job, and the place I'm at doesn't want me because, well, they're moving beyond me. They're moving past me. And you're connecting these people to a whole nother to the industries that want them.
And this is an alternative economy. And, I'm not a huge Ayn Rand fan, but, a little Atlas Shrugged moment. So if all the conservative businesses are hiring the conservatives and the Christians, well, what's left in the liberal businesses? And what do those people do when they're all together? They're going to devour each other. Yeah. Right? I think we're going to see winners and losers.
They play video games with the music on.
They do, because
while they're working.
They don't care. No, but I think you're going to see winners and losers in our economy. When you have businesses, right? I was talking to someone at IBM, and he was on his way out because he's like, it's crazy town now. He's like, so we're paying upwards of twice as much for people at IBM because they have to have the correct medical procedure. They have to have the right skin color. It ideally
The vaccine is what he's particularly referring to. You can say that on our show.
I'm allowed to say
we aren't on YouTube anymore. So.
So it doesn't matter.
Watch for the red dot, though.
The red dot, I know. So he's like, so what you're doing is supply and demand still matters, no matter what the liberals say, right? So the reality is, he's like, we're literally paying twice as much as we were a year ago for new hires
to get the workforce they need.
Because we are limiting all of the best people, and we can't hire them. He's like, and it's just killing. That's why he was quitting. He's like, I'm on my way out because I can't hire people because unless they're a black, trans, vaccinated hippo, like if they're not
a furry,
if they're not part cheetah,
right.
So anyway, but that's going to produce winners and losers. So what's going to happen is IBM's bottom line is going to change, right? When you start paying twice as much for people who spend less time working,
it's both sides of the equation.
You spend less time working.
It costs more to get less done.
Correct. The American Management Association, I hate to quote them, but it's true. 2019, they estimated,
like quoting Stalin favorably.
It's a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So they estimated that $100 billion of productivity loss in America happens every year because of office politics, right?
Oh, my goodness.
$100 billion of productivity loss in America.
And now we just ratcheted that up 10 times.
And that was in 2019. Do you think it's gone down?
Right. And 2020 was like, hold my beer.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Right. And when you are all on Zoom and you never see each other, you think politics get worse or better?
Interesting.
Right.
So, you actually are. This is really interesting because it's fascinating right now. Everything I read about, I'm seeing that there's supply chain issues. I'm seeing that we're having people who don't want to work.
Yep.
I'm seeing it seems like there isn't opportunities out there. But the way that you're talking, it sounds like there's a great opportunity out there for people who want to work.
Yep.
For somebody who wants them to work.
Yep. 100%.
And the market right now is looking kind of flip flop, but it's reassessing itself, and it's going to flip. Is that what you think is going to happen?
Well, and I think you're going to see conservative areas, right? You already see that of the top 20 top 20 states for low unemployment in America right now, 17 have Republican governors, right? Yep. So even in a tight labor market, right, those economies are thriving with better policies, and you're going to have businesses that are going to win. They're going to thrive with better policies, and the liberal businesses, they're going to start to devour themselves as those conservatives leave. And so my challenge to you, my biggest problem with RedBalloon is inertia, right? You've got people, these are these conservatives who are happy to walk with a rock in their shoe. And like, it's time for you to realize what you're supporting with your labor.
Yeah.
It's time to move. It's time to go. It's time
and there's
to do something
good
else.
work to do.
It's good work to do.
And it's not only good work, you can work for someone who actually is more aligned with what you believe in.
Yep.
But it could make a difference in the country. I mean,
Huge difference.
I mean, people frequently are like, there's nothing I can do.
Well, I can't tell you how many of our listeners have told me I got a job with a great company because of RedBalloon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've friend from Texas. It's been really
that's
cool.
That's a big call. That's a big call because you got a lot of people who have been in the industry that they've probably been in and worked really hard to get there.
Yep.
And now you're telling them, yeah, I know. And guess what? It's collapsing. You gotta jump ship.
You got to jump ship. You know, it's like Jerusalem where they're like, it's time to get out, people.
That was 70 AD.
70 AD for those who, right? 70 AD Jerusalem.
For our pre-mill brothers.
Yeah, it's time to.
So then, have you seen anything like this before in the job market? You've been in the job market for a long time. You've been in business for a long time. Have you seen anything like this before?
I haven't, honestly. I think
not at this level.
There's an awakening happening in America. We're seeing people being like, you know what? I need to rethink where I am. It's like, you remember that video game CEO in Atlanta, Georgia. This is maybe 6 months ago. He tweeted about the Texas Heart Bill and got fired the next day.
Wow.
And so I had a bunch of my Christian buddies in business be like, man, we're losing our people in power. What are we going to do? I'm like, whoa, hold on. That very talented man was using his labor to bless a company and make a ton of money for a company that hated life.
Yep, that's right.
He was being redeployed by God and should be grateful that he lost his job. He's being redeployed.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
To do so. That's the way we need to think about it.
You're
Right?
getting redeployed.
You are being redeployed, and your labors right now. If you're working at a woke company and you're generating tons of profit for them, really, 50 years from now, are you going to look back and be happy with that, or would you rather have baked potatoes and ramen? With joy and peace, right? Proverbs, right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
I think there's been a comfort of not having to have our worldview and our work have to meet up. And what the woke have done, for good or for bad, I think it's for good actually, is they're saying, no, there's no neutrality between my religion and my job.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. The woke have said there's
They
no
believe
neutrality.
that, but conservatives for a while believe there's a disconnection
Right.
there.
We didn't
That's
ever
right.
make those
That's
two go
right, yeah.
together. And so now the woke have saying, no. If you work here, this is your religion now.
Yeah.
Right. But this goes all
And
the
you
way.
need to bow to bail.
And you need about to
This goes all the way back to creation. I mean, God created man to work, to take dominion, to be fruitful, multiply.
work.
Yeah.
to dot work.
Yeah.
To dot work, and it's like it's not neutral because we're commissioned to do it. It's the blessing of God is on it. When you labor heartily as to the Lord, you're building something that is a good, a service that helps people in this world and makes their lives better. That's something that is building God's kingdom.
And that's the very act of work is religious thing.
Yeah,
just the very act because God said.
That's in the beginning, in a perfect world, this is what I want you to do. Man, woman, work together.
Be fruitful.
Make this world more glorious.
And so you're saying so right now, I think most of the time that people have heard RedBalloon, they thought about, well, I do need a job. Let me jump on there and get a new job because I don't like the environment. But you're saying, no. You need to think beyond that. You need to think about what are you building? What is your time going to?
Good.
And then what is it going to look like in 50 years when you leave? Is that the legacy you want to leave? So
That's right.
RedBalloon is not just for people who need jobs and know it. There's people who need jobs and don't know it, and they need to be on RedBalloon.
This is a wake up moment. And, I talked to one guy and he says, I was at this company for a long time. I went and worked for a conservative. He says, and it was like detox. He said, I had no idea how in the swamp I was.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
I was afraid to say things at dinner that wasn't even a work dinner because I was so oppressed in my work environment.
I never felt that at MZ.
Yeah.
I would go to dinner and I would get.
Oh, I know.
I would take clients out when I worked for you.
Yeah.
Oh
Gabe was
man,
like,
Notice I never said no.
I should.
I never said no because
You never said no.
No, like,
you know?
talk about
I bet I never
abortion.
lost an employee. Never lost a contract
you
because
never
of it.
lost a customer,
Yeah,
and Gabe would just be like, "So let's talk about abortion."
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh,
I got.
okay."
We're going there.
I got in one argument with four guys. This was at our conference
Yes, it
in
was.
Coeur d'Alene, and they were like major big state players from New York, Michigan, all over. And we got in the abortion argument, and I just pushed him on it. And one guy, he was an educator, said, I asked him, at what stage should abortion be illegal? And he's like, well, I think it's between the mom and the doctor. And I was like, at 8 months? He's like, no, that's mom and doctor. 9 months, mom and doctor. I was like 2 years old. And he said, that's a good question.
Right.
I will
'Cause he
never
hadn't thought of
forget
that.
that moment.
He hadn't thought of that.
I'll never forget that moment.
And that used to be okay. So what is it that you guys need at RedBalloon? Because you guys are growing, you guys are expanding. What is it that RedBalloon needs right now for to?
I
make these
think I need people to be more people to be brave. Right. It's really hard to decide. You know what? I'm going to leave American Express because I've just been put through 5 hours of CRT training.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at your family and like, well, what am I doing? Like, and you're a dad and you're like, I need to support my family. But the reality is there are a lot of opportunities out there. So I just need more people to be brave. I've talked to some job seekers. They're like, oh, man, I mean, I'd love to, but I mean, I just got a big bonus. And I'm like, well, that bonus is probably not going to go to heaven with you.
Yeah, no, it
But
won't.
it won't.
Guarantee.
But I wasn't thinking about heaven anyway.
But your children are watching how brave you are right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they know.
That's right. You better say that.
Yeah.
You better say that. There's a line that's attributed to Harriet Tubman. It's like, I could free more people if they knew they were slaves.
Right.
And
That's it.
and I think that's the line right now. I don't think people know just how, like you were talking about earlier with the other guy. They don't know how in bondage and how much slavery
And
is
how
on
you
them.
might be able to be redeployed.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
and it's
I like that
deeply
term. That's great.
satisfying. It's hard.
That's right.
Right. If you're a soldier and you're being redeployed, it's hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Freedom is hard though.
Yeah.
It is hard.
It takes,
Freedom
it
is
takes
hard.
faith.
It takes
Yeah.
faith.
It takes faith.
So
do
we
you
need
wanna
people
be-
to be brave.
Yeah.
We need people to pay pronoun landmines and tell their friends about it. We also have a promoter program. This is kind of fun. We have these people who are like, look, I want to stand for freedom. And so we had 6 people in Chicago last week who ran a job fair for RedBalloon kind of on their own without even asking, without being paid or anything. They're like, it's important and I need other people to know it's time for freedom. And so this whole group of people, and they're like, and now I have 5 new best friends.
Wow.
Because I didn't know these people were here.
Yeah.
We're in Chicago together. We're gonna
come out of the woodworks together.
Come out of the woodworks together. And so you're an encouragement to other people.
That's right.
When
So
you stand up.
When you wear this logo, people are like, I know how to be a friend with you.
That's
You're
right.
conservative.
That's right.
You aren't going to require a vax
here's
or any of that. This logo is power.
Yeah, power.
Here's the thing, too. I want to say it's not just for conservatives. Now, there's a
Yeah.
worldview that once it's established, everybody gets to enjoy that freedom. But even people who are not necessarily conservative realizing that they don't have a chance in this new world either.
Yeah.
That's right.
They realize they're like, wait a second, why is that galley showing up in the front of my house?
Right. Well, and honestly, like this was, he won't let me use his name, but a guy told me, he's a large corporation. He's like, I was told if you want a promotion, you need a sex change.
Oh my gracious!
Wow.
Now, were they joking? Maybe, but
Right.
Joke
the
with me
fact
like
that
that.
it came out,
Yeah,
like.
but they,
I couldn't imagine.
And I said, did you quit on the spot? He's like, oh no, I mean, and that's our problem right now.
What's the difference between
Wake up.
saying like, hey, Knox, if you want promotion, you got to be white. I'll be right back.
yeah. Let me go get the ACLU.
What I look like?
Right.
That's the same thing.
Exactly.
What in the world? All right. RedBalloon.work.
RedBalloon.work.
And personal pronoun
Landmines. Don't step on a pronoun landmine.
If you're single, get married. If you're married, have kids. And if you have kids, go baptize them. Until Sunday, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politic. I want to play the game. Can I play the game?
You sure can.
Get on there.
I'll give you the keyboard right here.
I want to do the thing with the thing.
When tyrants take over, what's the first thing they do? Disarm. It happened in Russia, China, Germany, and most recently, Afghanistan. Why? Because disarmed people are easier to control. And over the last century and a half, American tyrants have been carrying out a slow, methodical disarmament that no one is talking about. State education. Tyrants know that education is warfare. Our rulers have a vested interest in making you totally harmless. They've got big plans and they don't want you getting in the way. Think about it. Would you rather fight an army decked out with high-powered rifles or a bunch of dinky water pistols? They know that if you can think critically, you're a threat. At New St. Andrews College, we want to graduate men and women who are dangerous. Dangerous to the world, dangerous to the principalities and powers, dangerous to spiritual wickedness in high places. Education can either arm you or disarm you. It can make you a threat or make you a useful idiot. So, where you get that education counts. Click the link to apply to New St. Andrews College today.